We are currently getting hammered on Cyberstan with the stats to prove it, but reinforcements could be on the way if we can pull off another twist from Super Earth High Command. The dev team has also been at it, dropping all sorts of responses while we've been experiencing some more issues on the Cyborg planet. Yeah, today is jam-packed with all the latest in Helldivers, so stick around. If you want to help support the channel, you know what to do, and don't forget to swipe right on mobile to help hype the video. So let's get this thing going and dive into some more Helldivers. Alright, so the amount of changes, options, and dispatches all hitting Helldivers right now are really getting hard to keep up with. We've been after the developers to keep us more informed of what is happening where and why on the galactic map, and ever since Cyberstan, the Cyborgs, and the Machinery of Oppression updates dropped, they seem to have taken that request seriously. Now, since I've seen this question on some of my previous Helldivers videos asking how you can actually see these operational updates and changes, I wanted to take this opportunity to tell you all you need to do is look at the bottom right hand of your screen while in-game for the Dispatch tab. For me on PC, I just hit Z, and from there you can scroll up and down to see the latest from Helldivers HQ. But going back to the amount of incoming transmissions, we've got things like the DSS is back online after bombarding Maroc, a sit rep about the current MO valid pretext and how many reinforcements are still at our disposal. More on that in a moment, by the way. We've got a strategic opportunity to earn the incendiary Gatling barrage we tested during the Festival of Reckoning. We've got a CEF sit rep and a tactical advisory, which, by the way, basically says that we Helldivers are dying too quickly on Cyberstan and we need to stop dying so much. Which is, yeah, I mean, I can understand that last one, but considering how lit Cyberstan is with all the enemy mobs and some of the wonky things happening there right now, dying too much is not always in our control. We'll come back to the latest in in-game updates in just a minute, I promise, but first, yesterday, I reported that Helldivers 2, despite only being on sale for Xbox from very late August onwards, had done well enough to earn a spot on 3 out of 4 excellence metrics for Xbox. Well, we've got a little more on the subject, as Push Square has published a follow-up piece titled, "Here is Why Sony Put Helldivers 2 on Xbox." What we didn't have in yesterday's report, and is further expanded upon here, is what the excellence metrics were for the 3 categories Helldivers made the list for. But now we do. Player engagement. Those are the games with the highest average hours per player within the first 6 weeks of release. Daily active users. Games expansions or major updates with the highest single-day active users in 2025. And of course, units sold. Top-selling content across Xbox and Microsoft stores. In fact, the only metric Helldivers did not make the charts for within these Xbox Excellence Awards was store rating, because as you can see here, Helldivers 2 is currently sitting at a 4 out of 5 star rating. But the real and, I think, obvious question is, why did Sony bring Helldivers 2 to Xbox? But as Push Square so correctly states, quote, "At the end of the day, Sony is in the business of making money, and its efforts to get first-party titles on PC and this Helldivers 2 version for Xbox only strengthen its revenue streams. While hard numbers aren't attached, Helldivers 2 was one of the last year's best-selling Xbox games." Zeroing back in on Cyberstan and of course the new Machinery of Oppression update, right now on my channel homepage I've got a difficulty poll running asking specifically about Cyberstan, and as of the posting of this video, and after over 8,800 votes, 65% of you voted that the new missions are tough but you love them, while 26% said they were pretty difficult and that you were dying a lot, while only 9% said they were brutal or WTF. Now, to see that kind of overwhelming response to the new content is definitely encouraging, especially for Arrowhead, because after the Into the Untested update, Helldivers everywhere were pretty concerned about the state this new update would launch in. And since we are mentioning polls on the channel, if you want to receive alerts for when I post videos, announcements, and the rest of it, please consider hitting subscribe and ringing the notifications bell. I noticed that for my Cyberstan video titled, "Okay, I bleeped my pants," 69, of course it's 69.9% of viewers were not subscribed to the channel, and my goal is to get that average down to a 50-50 split. Hitting subscribe is free, it keeps you in the know, and goes a long way to helping get the channel noticed. Okay, now back to the in-game messages, and like I mentioned earlier, they are coming in hot and heavy. Yesterday, we learned we got the DSS back online after it shelled Morocco for 24 hours straight. There was also a casualty report that in the last 24 hours we had lost 29 million divers, leaving us with 111 million in reserve. We received this very unique CEF sitrep that read, Third Army has advanced past the 18th parallel in the Western Hemisphere. 68th Air Assault Division has taken heavy casualties, 23rd to reinforce. Heavy shelling on East Front, slowing advance, which was a direct historical reference to the Vietnam War. And, of course, with Malevelon Creek often being referred to as Space Vietnam, this tie-in is unmistakable. But the dispatch that has the Helldiver fandom talking is this new strategic opportunity, where we've been given the opportunity to cull Chargers, Impalers, and Biotitans to allow Xenozoologists to retrieve their eggs, which will in turn fund and fast-track Helldiver training, resulting in fleet-wide reinforcements. However, the details here matter, so check this out. In the next 2.5 days, we have to kill 4 million Chargers, 3 million Impalers, and 2.5 million Biotitans. And if we can pull it off, scratch that, when we pull this off, we're going to again get access to the insane incendiary Gatling barrage, and we're also going to get a fresh stock of reinforcements to add to our force reserve meter. Now, the new Stratagem is definitely a cool reward because the last time we got to try it out, this thing was lethal. But the reinforcements is as, if not more, important to the efforts on Cyberstan, because when you look over the planet stats found on the Helldivers companion app, our diver kill-to-death ratio there is currently only sitting at about 24-1, and the amount of Helldiver deaths just since Tuesday has topped over 62 million. Just to give you a quick comparison, when the Illuminate blitzed Super Earth and we had to battle it out with them in the streets for control of our own homeworld, that campaign lasted, I think, a couple of weeks, where we lost about 120.5 million divers during that effort. Also, our kill-to-death ratio was nearly 3 times what we see on Cyberstan, as we killed on average 66.34 squid per every 1 Helldiver death. So, not only are we not killing as many enemies per diver life, but we've nearly hit half the Super Earth casualty counts in under 3 days on Cyberstan. Now, the brilliance of this new strategic order is that it takes advantage of those divers out there that are loyal to one faction and one faction only. And we've often seen this bot versus bug diver debate spill over into Discord and Reddit, but here, entrenched bug divers are going to be able to contribute to our victory on Cyberstan by doing what they enjoy most, killing bugs. Now, the only issue I see with this is when Arrowhead finally assigns the kill counts to the Illuminate, because those planets are a barren wasteland. Luckily, we did get confirmation from community manager Mitchimus that all Chargers count towards this order to cull the Terminids, which is good news, as in the past it's been restricted to just Behemoth Chargers or just standard Chargers, but here we get them all counted. Also, the question was asked in the official Helldivers Discord about hammer kills not counting, which has led to a broader issue being discovered with melee kills in general not being counted correctly in the end of the mission stats, making it to the known issues board. Now, I've been diving on Cyberstan a lot, and I've noticed there's an issue there with the structures and how we Helldivers interact with them versus the Borgs and the bots. And this is, by the way, nowhere to be found on this list. You see, most of the building upper parts are visually there on our screens, but not for the bots and Borgs, so they can shoot through the tops of these buildings, or like in the case of the Vox engines, lob those rocket barrages straight up and over and through the tops of these buildings down on us. Many of the buildings and walls on Cyberstan are much the same way. They're visible on our screens, but not for our enemies. So they will track you easily as you run behind the buildings, or many times shoot straight through them. I deleted the footage already, but a few days ago, I showed a Vox engine come down a very steep embankment and clip over the edge of a wall, turning a hard 90-degree turn to then just run me over. Now, if we Helldivers attempted that with the Bastion tank, it would take something like a 31-point turn to make it happen, but it showed the inconsistencies between the bots and the Borg, the structures on Cyberstan, and what applies to us, and also what does not apply to them. I will, of course, keep an eye on all of the appropriate channels, updates, and so on, and expect the follow-up reports to come as new changes and discoveries are made. But here's where you get to offer up your feedback and experiences. I got confirmation today that the dev team did in fact watch yesterday's video talking about random and unexplained deaths, and they are looking into it. So thanks to all of you who did respond to my request, and here's your chance again to help out. Anything and everything Cyberstan, performance, and the rest of it is fair game, so do your part to become a super citizen by again dropping a comment. Remember to hit subscribe and ring the notifications bell to receive my future upload alerts. If you're on mobile, please take advantage of the swipe right to hype function, as it really helps promote the video. Thanks to all of my current channel members and your incredible support. And until the next one, this is LtBuzzLitebeer signing off.